Welcome to the Sportscaster Dan podcast. Here is your host, Dan Lovallo.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sportscaster Dan podcast. I am Dan Lovallo. This is our Picks for Kicks postseason. We're done with the 18 weeks. This is our Picks for Kicks postseason. In the regular season, I went 40 right and 24 wrong, and I didn't pick against the line. I didn't do the spread. I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't do over and under. I just would pick the outright winners involving the NFL teams in my area, the Giants, the Patriots, and the Jets, and then I would pick some bonus games. So let's see, how did I do last week? I think I gave you 5 picks last week. Let me grab my notes here. See how I did for Picks for Kicks week number 18. I had predicted that as he turns the page here, the Patriots would beat the Jets. That did not happen. The Jets won. I had the Giants over the Eagles. That did happen. The Giants won. I had the Texans beating the Colts. That did happen, and the Texans are now going to the postseason. I had the Packers over the Bears. That did happen. And I had the Dolphins beating the Bills. That should have happened, but Buffalo won, big punt return. So I ended up 3-2, and I finished the regular season at 40 wins and 24 losses. So on to the postseason we go. Wildcard Weekend, there's going to be 6 games. 2 teams get a bye, the number 1 seeds in the AFC and the NFC. In the AFC, it's the Baltimore Ravens. In the NFC, it's the San Francisco 49ers. And so those 2 teams will not be playing. They have a bye week. This is what they earned by having the best record in their conference. So they'll be watching, but there will be some interesting games. And it begins with the Browns against the Texans in Houston. That should be an interesting game because the Texans really came on strong. There's no question under their first-year coach, they've started to put something together. But that said, I am predicting that the Browns will win. The Browns will beat the Texans in the first wild card game on Saturday. By the way, weather's going to be a big factor in some of these venues. Obviously, it's not going to be in Houston. That game will be played indoors. But the game that is not going to be played indoors, the game that's going to be outside, is in Kansas City between the Chiefs and the Dolphins. And the weather is going to be absolutely horrendous. They're talking about 2 degrees below zero at game time, the last I saw. Now you've got the Miami Dolphins, who are coming from South Florida, going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions in Kansas City, with temperatures at -2. Now I know the last I checked, the Chiefs were favored by 4. But who do you like winning that game? Well, I know who I like winning that game. The Chiefs will defeat the Dolphins on Saturday night in the cold. And people will be paying to watch that game on television at home because you need Peacock. You need to have a subscription to Peacock because it's going to be solely on streaming, on the Peacock platform streaming. So there you have that game. It's going to be a weather-impacted game, and the Chiefs will win. That leads us to the big triple header on Sunday, beginning in Buffalo, where weather is going to be a factor in Buffalo. Now, weather's going to be a factor because at first I thought they might get some light snow and wind. Now I'm reading they could have one of those lake effect snowstorms off of Lake Erie with the wind howling. There was some conversation of actually moving the game. The NFL said that was a rumor. It's not happening. They're not moving the game. It will be played in Buffalo. There then was conversation that Sean McDermott will be coaching for his job because the owner of the Bills might want to hire Bill Belichick if the Bills fail in this game against the Steelers. Well, I don't see that move unfolding. The owner of the Bills just extended McDermott's contract through the 2027 season. In June of 2023, he extended McDermott and the GM through 2027. I don't think he's going to eat all that salary. So I don't think McDermott is coaching for his life. I really don't. But this game is going to have a lot of twists and turns because of the weather. How that particularly affects Josh Allen, we're going to find out. But that said, I am predicting that the Steelers will beat the Buffalo Bills. The Steelers over the Bills on Sunday. That leads us to the later game between the Packers and the Cowboys in Dallas. The Cowboys are undefeated at home. Packers have made a nice run. They're a good young team, and they've got a bright future. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But for the Cowboys and for Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys coach, the future is now. The Cowboys will beat the Packers. Cowboys will beat the Packers, and I'm guessing it's going to be a close game. Who knows? But Cowboys over the Packers. Then you have the Sunday night game in Detroit. Lions have won just one playoff game in the last 61 years or 62 years? That was in 91, 92. Just one playoff game they won. They've really come on strong. The organization has been turned around. They're playing against the upstart Rams, who had quite a season. Rams just won a Super Bowl not too long ago, but they really were rebuilding this year. They maneuvered the salary cap. They did this, that, and the other thing in order to get ready for the future, never expecting they would make the playoffs. But in the playoffs, there's always a team that surprises you. Last year it was the Giants, right? The Giants came out of nowhere to make the postseason, and then they defeated the Vikings in Minnesota in the first playoff game. There's always a team. This year that team is going to be the Rams, I think anyway, and the Rams are going to do it in Detroit. The Rams will beat the Lions in Detroit. Finally, you have the game on Monday night in Tampa, the Bucs against the Eagles, who have just been horrendous. They can't get out of their own way. They have injuries. They were embarrassed by the Giants last week. The week before, they blew a big lead at home and lost to Arizona. But after that loss to the Giants last week, their coach got up there and said, and really gave an inspiring press conference after the game, I thought anyway. He said, I believe in this team. This team's not going to quit. This is a good team. I have faith in my players. I mean, it really was a great, I thought, news conference. And obviously, you've got to think that they had an inspired practice session this week, as limited as practices get to be this time of year, where it's more going over plays than anything else. Tampa Bay has come on strong. I like Todd Bowles as a coach. I hope he's not coaching for his job. He deserves to be the coach again next year at Tampa Bay. And they are the home team. Weather's going to be, 60s, I thought I read? Maybe there's a shower or two. I don't know about that. But that said, I am picking the Eagles to win. The Eagles will beat Tampa Bay in the Bucs' home ballpark. So, again, who do we have as far as my picks are concerned? The Browns over the Texans, the Chiefs over the Dolphins, the Steelers to beat the Bills in Buffalo, the Cowboys over the Packers, the Rams to beat the Lions, and the Eagles over Tampa Bay. And what's interesting is, because there are 6 games this week, I am predicting, that's right, that 3 of the road teams will win. That's my prediction. So, should be a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy the games. Those are my picks. I'm going to keep a separate record for the postseason as opposed to the regular season. Again, I was 40-24 during the regular season. By the way, I'll be posting this not only on my sportscasterdan.com Substack website, but also I will be posting it on my YouTube channel. So if you'd like to go to my YouTube channel, there it is. Just go to YouTube at Dan Lovallo. So it should be a lot of fun. Enjoy the games. Those are my picks. And once again, I am predicting that 3 of the road teams will win. Overall, the Browns over the Texans, the Chiefs to beat the Dolphins, the Steelers over the Buffalo Bills, the Packers over the Cowboys, the Rams over the Lions, and the Eagles will defeat the Bucs. That's 4. What was I saying? 3. That's 4. Sorry about that. 4. I am picking of the 6 games, 4 of the road teams will win. I can't even do the math in my own head. I had 3. It's 4 because the Browns obviously are a road team. So the Browns are going to win. They are on the road, obviously. The Steelers are going to win. They're on the road. The Rams are going to win. They're on the road. And the Eagles are going to win. They're on the road. Enjoy the games, everybody. And thanks for following and watching the podcast.